Stop blaming the soap. If you are a woman over 60 and you have noticed a scent on your skin that was not there when you looked in the bathroom mirror 10 years ago, I need you to hear this clearly. Scrubbing harder, buying a stronger body wash, or standing longer under the morning shower is not always the answer. There is a quiet myth that this is simply poor hygiene, but the real issue may be happening deeper than your bathroom routine, and that is where this conversation starts. Now, before we go any further, I want to make something very clear. This is not a judgment on how clean you are. This is not about being careless, lazy, or letting yourself go. Many women who notice this change are already doing more than they used to. They buy a new body wash at the drugstore. They switch deodorants. They wash towels more often. They stand in the shower longer, hoping that one more rinse will make the difference. And still, somewhere in the back of their mind, they feel it. Something is different. That is the part I want you to stop blaming yourself for. Because the body you have after 60 is not simply the same body you had at 40 with more years added to it. The surface of your skin, the oils sitting on it, and the way those oils change in open air can behave differently with age. Researchers looking at age-related body odor found a compound called nonenal that was detected in people 40 and older, but not in younger adults in that study. That matters because it shifts the conversation away from shame and toward biology. Think of it like this. If a favorite blouse changes texture after years of washing, you would not call the blouse dirty. You would understand that the fabric has changed and you would handle it differently. Your skin deserves that same kind of patience. Scrubbing harder is not patience. Panicking in the soap aisle at CVS or Walgreens is not patience. Hiding from hugs because you are afraid someone may notice is not patience. Once you understand that there is a real mechanism behind this change, the whole problem becomes less frightening and much more manageable. You are not trying to erase yourself. You are learning how to care for a body that is asking for a different routine than the one that worked years ago. And yes, that difference can be handled gently, not harshly. Now, I want to be upfront about what these 8 bathroom habits really mean. They are not character flaws. They are not proof that you have stopped taking care of yourself. And they are certainly not a private failure that you should carry around in silence. These are small routines, the way you step into the shower, the towel you reach for, the cleanser sitting in your bathroom cabinet, the moisturizer you skip because you are in a hurry, the deodorant you have used for years without questioning it. Most women do these things automatically. You learned a routine that worked for you, and you repeated it because that is what sensible people do. But a routine that made perfect sense years ago can start working differently when your body starts asking for different care. That is the entire point of this list. Not blame, adjustment. We are going to count down from number 8 to number 1, starting with the habits that seem ordinary, almost too ordinary to matter, and building toward the one that connects most closely with what may be happening underneath the surface. Some of these will feel obvious once you hear them. Others may make you pause and think about your morning shower in a completely different way. And I want you to stay with me, because number 1 is the part most women never connect to odor at all. Once you see it, your whole routine may finally make sense for the first time. Number 8, blaming the soap before you understand what is happening on your skin. This sounds reasonable, but it is where many women get pulled in the wrong direction. You notice a scent that feels unfamiliar, so the first thought is, maybe this body wash is not strong enough. Maybe I need the antibacterial one. Maybe I should stand at Walgreens or CVS and choose the bottle that promises the deepest clean on the label. That reaction makes sense. Soap is visible. Soap is easy to change. It feels like the one part of the problem you can control. But soap is only one piece of the bathroom routine, and for an aging body, it may not be the piece telling the whole story. Here is the part that should change how you think about this. Researchers studying age-related body odor identified a compound called nonenal, an unsaturated aldehyde with a greasy, grassy smell. In that study, it was detected in people 40 and older, but not in younger adults. That does not mean every scent change is caused by this one compound, but it does mean the conversation cannot stop at, I must need stronger soap. Think of it like wiping a kitchen counter after oil has been sitting there. The cloth matters, yes. The cleaner matters, yes. But if the surface itself is holding onto a different kind of residue than it used to, simply grabbing a harsher cleaner is not always the smartest answer. For women over 60, this matters because the old routine can feel familiar even when the skin underneath it has changed. You may be washing daily, you may be using a clean towel, you may be doing all the obvious things right and still feel that something is off. The fix here is not to panic in the soap aisle. Start by treating soap as one tool, not the entire solution. A stronger smell on the label is not the same as a better routine for aging skin. Number 7. Scrubbing harder when your skin is asking for something gentler. More effort is not always better care. I want you to hear that sentence carefully, because this is where many good, clean, thoughtful women start accidentally working against themselves. You notice that something about your skin smells different, so you reach for the washcloth and press harder. You buy a body wash that says deep clean. You stay under the morning shower a little longer, especially before church, a doctor's appointment, or lunch with your daughter. None of that comes from laziness. None of it comes from poor hygiene. It comes from trying to solve an embarrassing problem with the tools you have always been told to use. But aging skin is not just younger skin that needs more scrubbing. The outer surface has to act like a protective barrier, holding the right environment in place while keeping irritation and imbalance from taking over. In research on aged skin, using an acidic pH 4 water and oil emulsion was shown to improve the epidermal barrier and the structure of the stratum corneum, the outer layer of the skin. That matters because it points to something many women never consider. The surface of older skin often needs support, not punishment. Think of it like cleaning an old wooden table. If the finish has become delicate, you would not attack it with the roughest brush in the kitchen. You would clean it carefully, protect the surface, and stop assuming that force is the same thing as care. The fix here is simple. Do not turn every shower into a scrubbing contest. Use steady, gentle contact instead of aggressive rubbing. Let the cleanser do its job without treating your skin like it has failed you. If you use a washcloth, make it a soft tool, not sandpaper. For synergy, keep the routine consistent and calm. Gentle washing, careful rinsing, then support the skin afterward rather than trying to win the whole battle inside the shower. Harshness feels productive. Gentleness is often the smarter strategy for aging skin daily. Number 6. Using the same cleanser for decades without ever thinking about pH. Here is a detail most people never check. You may know the scent of your favorite soap by heart. You may have bought the same bottle every month for years, kept it in the same corner of the bathroom cabinet, and trusted it because it always made you feel clean. That loyalty is understandable. When something has worked since your 40s, it feels wasteful to question it in your 60s or 70s. But your skin is not a bathroom tile. It is a living surface, and the surface of aging skin needs a more thoughtful kind of support than most people give it. This is where pH enters the conversation. Think of the surface of your skin like the doorman at a building. When that doorman is steady, the right things stay protected and the wrong things are kept from taking over. When the surface environment is thrown off, the barrier has to work harder. In research on aged skin, an acidic pH 4 water and oil emulsion was shown to improve the epidermal barrier and the structure of the stratum corneum, the outer layer of the skin. That does not mean one product magically solves odor. It means the surface environment of older skin is worth paying attention to. Why does this matter for a woman over 60 standing in her shower, holding the same cleanser she has used for half her life? Because the problem may not be whether you are washing, the problem may be whether the product and the skin still match each other the way they once did. A cleanser that felt perfect years ago can still smell familiar, still lather beautifully, still sit proudly on the shelf, and yet no longer be the gentlest fit for the skin you have now. The fix here is simple. Look at the label with new eyes. You are not looking for the strongest promise on the bottle. You are looking for words like gentle, mild, or pH balanced. If your skin feels tight or stripped afterward, that is not a badge of cleanliness. That is information. For Synergy, keep the cleanser change calm and boring. No panic purchases. No harsh experiments. Just ask one question. Is this helping my skin feel supported after every shower today? Number 5. Washing on autopilot and missing the places that quietly hold on to odor. This sounds too simple to matter, but simple is exactly why it gets missed. You step into the shower before church, before the senior center, before a doctor's appointment, and you move through the same pattern you have used for years. Arms, chest, legs. Quick rinse. Done. That routine can feel complete because the whole body got wet and the whole body smelled like cleanser for a few minutes. But body odor is not just about whether water touched the skin. A major part of body malodor comes from products created by bacteria living on the skin and around the body, including odor molecules such as ammonia, volatile sulfur compounds, and trimethylamine. Those words sound technical, but the idea is very plain. Odor often develops when tiny living systems on the body are given the right surface, the right residue, and enough time to do their work. So if you rush past the areas where sweat, oil, deodorant, and cleanser can collect, you may leave behind the very material your routine was supposed to remove. This is not about scrubbing those areas raw. We already talked about why force is not the answer. This is about attention. Think of it like rinsing a coffee mug. If you splash water into it for 2 seconds, it looks wet, but the ring at the bottom may still be there. The fix here is simple. Slow the shower down by just a little. Move in a consistent order so you do not forget the same areas every morning. Use gentle fingertips or a soft washcloth, then rinse until the skin actually feels clear, not just perfumed. For Synergy, do this before days when you will be close to people, family lunch, Bible study, a hair appointment, or hugging a grandchild. Clean is not speed. Clean is completion. And completion is what most rushed routines quietly skip every day. Number 4. Skipping moisturizer after the shower, when the most important step may happen after the water is already off. This is the habit that feels almost too small to matter. You wash carefully, you rinse. You reach for the towel. Then the phone rings, the coffee is waiting, or you need to get dressed before your ride arrives for a doctor's appointment. So the lotion bottle sits by the sink untouched. That sounds harmless, but for older skin, the after-shower step is not just decoration. The surface of your skin is supposed to work like a protective front door. It helps keep the right environment in place and gives the outer layer a chance to stay steady. In research on aged skin, an acidic pH 4 emulsion improved the epidermal barrier and the structure of the stratum corneum, the outer layer of the skin. That matters because it reminds us that the surface of aging skin responds to support, not just washing. I want to be careful here. Moisturizer is not perfume. It is not a magic odor remover, and no one should pretend that rubbing on any random lotion will solve every concern. But skipping that step entirely means your routine may end at the exact moment your skin is most ready to be supported. Think of it like washing a wooden porch and then leaving it unfinished in the sun. The washing part matters, but the protection afterward changes how well the surface holds up. Your skin deserves that same patience. The fix here is simple. Keep a fragrance-free moisturizer where you can see it, not buried behind old bottles in the bathroom cabinet. After you towel off, apply it while the routine is still fresh in your mind. You are not trying to cover yourself in a scent. You are helping the skin feel calm, comfortable, and cared for. For Synergy, pair this with the gentle cleanser we just talked about. Cleanse without stripping, rinse without rushing, and then support the barrier afterward. The shower starts the routine. Moisturizer helps finish it with care every day. Number 3. Using fragrance to cover odor before you understand the surface underneath it. This is where a lot of women get trapped, and I understand why. You are about to go to church, meet friends for coffee, stop by the grocery store, or visit your grandchildren, and you do not want anyone leaning in for a hug and quietly noticing something different. So you add more perfume. You reach for a scented lotion. You refresh deodorant before walking out the door. That is not vanity. That is not foolish. It is a woman trying to be considerate, polished, and comfortable around other people. But covering is not the same as understanding. Here is the part almost nobody explains. Body odor is often tied to products created by bacteria living on and around the skin. Those odor compounds are not erased just because another smell is placed over them, and age-related odor has another layer as well. The compound 2, nonenal, described with that greasy, grassy quality, has been identified in older adults in studies of body odor and aging. So, if the issue comes from the surface chemistry of the skin or from bacteria-derived odor compounds, adding a pleasant scent on top can make you feel temporarily safer without helping you understand what is actually happening. Think of it like spraying air freshener in a kitchen before wiping the counter. The room may smell nicer for a moment, but the surface underneath still needs attention. The fix here is simple. Build the routine first. Gentle cleansing, careful rinsing, barrier support. Then, if you enjoy fragrance, let it be the finishing touch, not the foundation. For synergy, choose one light scent instead of layering perfume, scented lotion, scented body wash, and deodorant all at once. Confidence should not come from hiding. It should come from knowing you cared for the surface beneath the scent first before anyone else gets close, with patience, not panic, every morning. Number 2. Thinking every body odor is sweat or poor hygiene. This is where the conversation changes. Because once a woman believes every unwanted scent means she is dirty, she stops looking for the real mechanism and starts blaming herself. Maybe your husband gently mentioned something after a hug. Maybe your daughter asked whether you had changed deodorant. Maybe a friend stepped back just enough for you to notice, but not enough to say anything. In families, people often try to be polite about this. They soften it, they hint, and that can make it worse, because your mind fills in the silence with shame. But the same symptom can come from different sources. A cough is not always the same cough. A stain on a blouse is not always the same kind of stain. And body odor is not always just ordinary sweat. Some odor is tied to products created by bacteria living on and around the skin. That is one pathway. Age-related odor has another layer that has been studied as well. Researchers identified 2, nonenal in subjects 40 years and older, while it was not detected in younger adults in that study. Now listen carefully. That does not mean you personally have one exact compound causing every concern. It means the old explanation, "I must not be clean enough," is too small for what may be happening. It is too harsh, and it is too shallow. Think of it like hearing a smoke alarm. The sound tells you something needs attention, but it does not tell you whether the toast burned, a candle smoked, or the wiring needs checking. Same sound, different source. The fix here is not more self-blame. The fix is to separate shame from investigation. Ask better questions. Is this odor appearing even after a normal shower? Does it return quickly? Are you relying only on stronger soap or perfume? Are you supporting the skin surface or only trying to wash harder? For synergy, write down what you notice for 1 week, not obsessively. Morning shower, product used, moisturizer or no moisturizer, scent by evening. Patterns matter. Shame hides patterns. Curiosity reveals them. And once you stop treating odor as a moral failure, you can finally treat it as something your routine can respond to. And now, number 1, not understanding. 2, nonenal and oxidation on aging skin. This is the part that brings us back to where we started. Not the soap aisle, not the longer shower, not the shame. The surface of your skin has its own chemistry, and as you get older, that chemistry deserves more respect than most bathroom routines give it. Researchers studying body odor and aging identified 2, nonenal, an unsaturated aldehyde described as having a greasy, grassy smell. In that study, It was detected in subjects 40 years and older, and it was not detected in younger adults. This compound forms when omega-7 unsaturated fatty acids in the skin's oil layer break down through oxidative degradation. Think of how a sliced apple changes when it sits in open air. The apple did not become dirty. The surface changed because chemistry was happening. That is the shift I want you to feel. If an unfamiliar scent shows up on your skin after 60, the answer is not automatically to scrub harder, hide under perfume, or punish yourself in the mirror before seeing your grandchildren. The answer begins with understanding that the surface of aging skin is active. Oils, oxidation, bacteria-derived odor compounds, pH, and the skin barrier all belong in the conversation. And here is the part almost nobody tells women. You cannot solve a surface chemistry problem with embarrassment. Embarrassment makes you buy harsher soap. Embarrassment makes you rush. Embarrassment makes you cover instead of care. Understanding makes you slow down and build a routine that actually matches the body you have now. The fix here is not dramatic, it is coordinated. Cleanse gently, because force is not wisdom. Pay attention to pH and mild products because the surface environment matters. Support the barrier afterward, because aged skin responds to care beyond rinsing. Rinse carefully in the areas that hold residue. Use fragrance only as a final touch, not as the foundation of the whole routine. For synergy, picture the morning before a family visit. You step out of the shower, reach for a clean towel, apply a simple moisturizer, and get dressed without panic. You are not trying to smell younger. You are not trying to erase age. You are simply respecting the chemistry of the skin you live in. This is not about vanity. This is about taking back control from a myth that made clean women feel ashamed. You needed better guidance, not a harsher bottle from the store today. Once you understand the mechanism, the routine becomes calmer, and calm care is where confidence starts again. Picture a 72-year-old grandmother standing in her bathroom before Sunday lunch. Her blouse is laid out on the bed. Her grandchildren will be there in an hour. And for a moment, instead of thinking about their hugs, she is wondering whether they will notice something she cannot fully explain. That is why this conversation matters. Not because odor is vanity, not because aging women should be embarrassed by normal changes, but because no woman should lose confidence in her own home, her own church, or her own family because nobody ever explained what may be happening on the surface of her skin. Today, you learned that this is not simply about stronger soap. It can involve age-related compounds like nonenal, odor created by bacteria-derived products, and the way aging skin responds to pH and barrier support. Those are not character flaws. They are clues. And when you treat them as clues, your routine becomes calmer. You do not need to punish your skin. You do not need to hide under layers of perfume. You do not need to avoid standing close to people you love. Start gently. Cleanse with care. Rinse with attention. Support the skin afterward. Let fragrance be optional, not a disguise. And if this helped you, comment your age below and tell me which habit surprised you the most. Your comment may help another woman who has been silently blaming herself for years. If you want more science-backed, gentle guidance for aging with confidence, subscribe before you leave. The studies are listed in the description. And remember this, growing older does not mean losing dignity. Sometimes it simply means your body is asking to be understood differently, with patience, steadiness, and a little more kindness. Starting today,